Alrighty, guys, hello and welcome back to the show. It's been a long time since I've had the wonderful gentleman that is joining me today on my channel. Last time we were talking about a different game. Tatsu has since moved on to a couple of other projects in the RTS community that I also think are pretty exciting. A little bit of a break from maybe what I usually cover, which is more of the, maybe grand strategy kind of game, but had a chance to check out some of these games and wanted to do an interview with Tatsu and see kind of what's going on from the newer projects perspective. So, Tatsu, do you want to introduce yourself? I think a lot of my viewers probably know who you are, but would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Yeah, it's let's not take it for given that people know who I am. And it probably wouldn't matter much anyways. But yeah, I was the founder for Sanctuary Shattered Sun. Moved on from that project when me and Nine were at odds, let's say. And I went on to work on Zero Space. I've been the RT manager for Zero Space for 2 years now. And I've been working on Ablight also as well. It's been much shorter time. It's been a month. But yeah, I've been their community manager for a while. Um, and um, and yeah, I want to get this game out to the public because it really deserves to be heard and to be found by its audience. It should specify that it's more of an AOE type game rather than inspired by Supreme Commander. But yeah, uh, yeah, I guess that's me in a nutshell.
Well, that's awesome. And from a Age of Empires and one Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 3, I think all of them, all those games hold probably a really special place in a lot of real-time strategy gamers' heart. Because AOE 2 was, I think, the very first RTS I really played with any degree. I remember playing the demo way back when, just over and over again because we didn't actually own the full game yet. Whenever I was very young, but so what in your mind kind of makes this more of a Age of Empires 2 successor? Or maybe we should take a step back and just kind of talk about the setting of Ablight, kind of the basic game mechanics, and what makes this a little bit more Age of Empires style than maybe a Supreme Commander style.
Well, I think it comes down to the type of gameplay that they're going for now. Having like a randomized map is something that's still a work in progress, but something that they're going to be working towards. You have the fog of war that's going to cloud what it is that you have on the map, and you have to do that initial scouting, explore, find the early food in the form of deer or whatever. There's going to be a bunch of different fauna and everything that you have to hunt. That provides a big boost at the start. These kinds of mechanics that give you lots of different things to do in the early game, whereas with a game like Supreme Commander, it's much calmer in the early game. Do make it play a lot more like Age of Empire, yeah, Age of Empires 2. It's Yeah, it has a bit more micro overall. It has the upgrades that you're going to be consistently choosing in like that are uh, really a core part of the gameplay, and that make you progress all throughout the game. There's a lot of different mechanics and different ways that the different units interact, that you have to learn and memorize and use to your advantage. All those different things are more reminiscent of Age of Empires than it is like other games like StarCraft or Supreme Commander, etc. So yeah. And as for the setting, it's set, supposed to be set in kind of basically like our world, but like with a slight steampunk twist to it. There's there's not like high tech, but there is some form of technology powered by steam, magic, combinations of all that, and yeah, the there's the Inquisition faction, which kind of is using what we recognize as magic. So yeah, it's kind of I would say it's a setting that's steampunkish and kind of similar to Runeterra, like League of Legends, I guess. Kind of like that.
Gotcha. Um, whenever I think of whenever I think of kind of the Age of Empires 2 uh gameplay style, if you will, and that was this was something you and I were talking about a little bit before, whenever we're looking at like large creators like T90 Official and others that have done quite a bit with Age of Empires 2. A lot of times what I see are maybe one of the bigger differences between like a Supreme Commander, where you're just, if you're playing UEF and you're in the late game, it's ram Percivals and Fat Boys down the enemy's throat until they lose. Whereas on Age of Empires 2, you see, certain civilizations doing really well with scouts, others doing really well with like crossbow arbalist, others doing really well with kind of their more infantry units. Is that kind of more what you're going after with Ablight?
Yeah, like so the right now we have shipped quote unquote three factions, but like the idea is that there's going to be at least seven, right, and if not more. There's well, there's plans for a lot in the future. It all depends on how things go, but it's definitely one of those games where there's a lot more richness and variety in terms of the factions, the units, their capabilities, how they all balance against one another. And it's the idea is to provide the players with a lot of variety in the different matches from one match to another. It should be quite different. The strategies that people can employ should be quite different. People in a competitive setting as well as versus AI should be able to come up with a lot of different interesting ways to win. So yeah, that I think you got the right idea actually with what you were expressing there. Is like that's actually one of the things that Ablight stands out for. And I guess while we're on the topic, if we're pitching, well, I guess I should be letting you ask those questions, but the question that comes to my mind is if we're pitching an Age of Empires game, why not just play Age of Empires? And the answer to that is like there doesn't seem to be anything novel happening in that space, right? The new games that come out don't seem to really carry the genre forward. There doesn't seem to be an effort from Microsoft's part to renovate and really do something with that IP other than just kind of fleece the customers for their money and republish the same game over and over again with a new edition for for two over and over again. I don't know how many more times they're gonna do that, but like it's kind of starting to get dated. And yeah, in terms of like, well, 2D isometric graphics and everything. There's only so much you can do in that space. This is something that I believe in from a code perspective, because it's a dots project through and through. I don't know if you remember, but Sanctuary Shattered Sun was written in dots, and this is something that I like thought was really awesome. Allowed for full multi-threading and for a lot of performance gains and everything like that. This game was written in dots from day one, and yeah, the coders on this are really gifted. So it allows for the game to be able to support a plethora, a great quantity of units, and run fantastic while doing so.
Gotcha. So we'll double click on what you said earlier a little bit, where you posed the question, why would you play this game instead of just continuing to play kind of Age of Empires? So kind of double clicking on that, we talked a little bit about the performance aspect of like PCs are going to be able to handle the game a little bit better just because it's optimized for multi-threading, which is big for me because I'm like a tech guy and really enjoy like being able to utilize my
Yeah,
technology
likewise.
to the fullest extent. But for maybe somebody who's not as is not as technically inclined and just buys like a basic gaming computer and is looking to play games, what are some of the key things that you think Ablight offers that AOE has maybe dropped the ball on just from like a gameplay perspective?
Yeah, I think the lore. I think the lore is a big one. I mean, the medieval setting, historical setting, has been, the setting that we've known for that style of gameplay and that game space in general. And it feels like doing something new there is really on the cards. Yeah, I feel like there's already something interesting that's a core of something quite interesting that Ablight is developing here. They with the three factions that they have, the Guardians, the Plagued, and the Inquisition. It's yeah, it's really different in that respect. And I feel like what they're going to do is try to make it feel like certain units have that wow factor. Like, well, you bring this kind of big like spider bot with a big gun on the field, and it fights against a big wizard that shoots lightning and whatnot. And yeah, I think the richness of what you see going on the battlefield is going to be a strong argument for Ablight. It's you're going to be able to have a lot more things going on overhead. You wouldn't have flying units in Age of Empires, so this is already one of the bigger differences that you're gonna see in Ablight. And yeah, as things progress, all the newer units that get added and everything will really be trying to make them feel unique and make them stand out and make them feel like really they have a lot of punch and wow. So yeah, the lore is like another strong factor. It's that obviously performance matters a lot to me, but yeah, I feel like it's also going to be a very rich game in terms of like the universe that it happens in.
Yeah. So going into kind of the lore aspect of it, I didn't really realize how much I enjoyed kind of the maybe a story aspect of a game that I was playing until like one of my favorite games is Sins of a Solar Empire. And that game has a little bit of a story, a little bit of lore, but there's not really a campaign. There's no cutscenes. Like you just kind of load in, you can play with friends, play skirmishes and stuff like that. And you know a little bit about the factions that are and their motivations back behind it. But why don't you walk us through a little bit of the lore of Ablight? I could have a guess based on the faction's names, but I haven't done a whole lot of research on it.
Well, this is something that I'm gonna have to put a halt on right now. It's still being written. Yeah, there is a baseline, and I can go through what the Guardians, what the Plague, what the Inquisition, and everything stand for, and a bit of like what the world is like, but like there's not that much more as it stands, right? So it's gonna be it's gonna get developed a lot more as time goes. The ambition for this game is that there's a lot of trailers and cinematics that are going to be part of the game. But yeah, let me just run you through the three factions. This is like as it stands, like the lore of the game. So yeah, you have oh yeah. Yeah, the idea is that like every single faction must be like very distinct and very different from one another. They're not like they're not something that you could some people that you could see easily forming like alliances or anything. They might, but it'll be tense because they really have strong divergences in their philosophical beliefs, in their really like core identities. So yeah, you have the Guardians, which believe in like freedom in a certain in a certain sense, like our freedom, the freedom from external oppression. There shouldn't be anyone that is lacking or anything like that. And so they believe in constructs in like society, stuff like that. They're the main faction. They're going to be presented as the first ones that you play in the campaign. And yeah, they'll be trying to liberate themselves and the others they bring into their fold from physical shackles. They use technology to better themselves and the society around them. So you'll see them using their technology to like they'll have like exoskeletons. They'll have like different sorts of mechs and everything that they use. Obviously, planes and all that kind of, and that sort of stuff. And the idea is that like because they believe in themselves so much, they end up kind of becoming oppressors unbeknownst to themselves. So yeah, that's like every single faction is gonna have a little bit of a black and white going on with them. Like not no nobody's irreproachable in this world. So you have the plagued, which they also believe in liberty, but a different sort of liberty, which is a freedom of their biological shackles. So they self-modify, they modify their bodies, and they believe in self-growth, but at all costs. This, of course, means that they don't really focus on anything governmental anymore, and they don't mind having a more hierarchical structure in their faction. They don't mind if it's basically a bit dictatorial, I guess. The idea is again like surpassing their own physical limits at all costs, and doing so with biology wherever they can. So yeah, they have small idyllic villages that they live in, and they have like they can do their secret experimentation there, far from any oversight and rules. And yeah, they don't get along well with the Inquisition. So in particular, who don't like see eye to eye with what they do and like what they believe in. And the Inquisition is this faction that represents transcendence. They believe in sacrifice, in self-sacrifice as a way to protect others. They well, yeah, they also do this as an absolute philosophy. And yeah, they what they do is they force what they call transcendence onto other people and other factions, and this as well ends up being another form of oppression that they themselves carry out. So yeah, it's like all these factions have like strong beliefs and everything, and are perhaps a bit clumsy in the way that they carry them out. That's kind of the idea.
Oh, they sound very human to me.
Yeah.
Strong beliefs, really clumsy in the way that we carry it out. So um, I think that's good, and I think that Lauren's story does help with player immersion, so to speak, because you can get kind of invested into a particular faction, or maybe you really like what one faction believes and disagree with another faction. So I end up finding
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
playing the TEC a lot in Sins of a Solar Empire because I really like the
Well,
trade
there you go.
aspect of it. So
That's really the ideal is when players really identify fully with one faction and like you get immersed in the game as a result.
yeah,
And yeah, obviously that's what Ablight is hoping to accomplish.
gotcha. So, I know that the game is, right now it's in a pretty early state right now as far as its development cycle, and y'all have been seeing like little clips of me playing the game. Luckily, Tatsu was very nice and gave me kind of an early access key to be able to create some content around this. But let's talk kind of roadmap. What does a completed game look like for you? What is the kind of goal for completion date, etc., if you will.
Yeah. So well, the idea is that at the quarter three of 2026, we should have release. And like right now, everything that we do is trying to get us to that goal at that date, right? So counting backwards, probably not practical to count backwards from there for the presentation of this, but like, yeah, the idea is that we want to have like a full vertical slice. Well, probably within the next 3 or 4 months, we want to have uh, a private alpha test um, by by the end of the year, I think, probably in early 2026. Early access should be Q2 or yeah, should probably be Q2 of 2026, and the beta multiplayer should be quite quite close to the actual release in Q3 of 2026. So yeah, that's the plan as it stands. We can't really move away from that because like the dollars and everything that are going to be spent are accounted for. It's already been like a very tight budget, and yeah, we need to convince investors. The investors are are there, they're lined up, but what they expect to see is a hefty wish list count, and that'll convince them that okay, yeah, you guys can have your funds. And yeah, since like really the technical side is already there. I mean, this is a code base that's uh, quite old, that's been there for a while, and that's been worked on for quite a while. As I said, it's like stable, performant. It really does its job. The place that where this team hasn't put money in yet is the art. Yeah, the creation of the models for all the buildings, all the units that are missing, the new factions, the cinematics. That's where all that money would go. So yeah, obviously there's still netcode, but stuff like that isn't really a hurdle. It's something that like we can figure out pretty quickly with the current resources that we have. But yeah, the art is really what this game is missing, and I think personally that's not like the hard thing to encounter, right? You've got artists aplenty all around the world. But yeah, fortunately, yeah, the code is not what's missing a rework.
Gotcha. And that there were a couple of things that you said that kind of lead me into my last question, which is, who do you envision this game being for? Do you envision this being like highly competitive multiplayer, like a StarCraft 2 or Age of Empires 2? Do you see it being more like a Sins of a Solar Empire, where the competitive scene's much smaller, but there's a very avid fan base that loves to play against AI? Where do you kind of see that?
Um, uh, Honestly, it's kind of hard to predict that. I think the most likely outcome is that the fan base that's still very active on the various different CNC, including CNC generals, as well as I mentioned, the Age of Empires 2 community, and there's also a sizable, Age of Empires 4 community, even if it's smaller than the Age of Empires 2 community. All those together would really be at home in Ablights. And I think like what I'm saying here is basically like, yeah, the multiplayer community is what I expect will be playing a lot of this game. So yeah, I think it's possible that it it turns into it's hard to predict like a big, esports kind of space for any game, especially in the current landscape for well, gaming in general. I was going to say strategy games, but yeah, gaming in general. Right now isn't looking incredibly hot. But yeah, there's definitely still a very active player base that both for the people that prefer to play only single player, play the campaign, play versus bots and stuff, and for the people that love to play multiplayer. It's likely that there will be much more. That's my personal prediction. There will be much more multiplayer people on this type of game. Time will tell.
And that's
And
kind of
yeah,
how I
I
see it as well.
and
Like the maps are not gigantic, because I think
yeah.
like at least the ones that I've played on, like they're much more like kind of AOE 2 style, where like I mean in Sins of a Solar Empire you click a fleet to go across the map and it'll be there in 45 minutes. So it's a little different than that, where you can move armies across the map. It's a little bit more dynamic than like long-term planning oriented.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, I really do expect them to come from the Age of Empires 2 and Command and Conquer community. Yeah, these are very very active. There are quite a lot of players on there that are playing these games religiously, and wanting to see an evolution of that, but not really getting it from any of the publishers that own their IP. Um, and yeah, there's potential for people who are streaming out of other games, of other RTSs as well. Just new people looking to get into the space who want a new title rather than something that has been really that has only experts playing it and everything like that. Getting into a new game can be very breath of fresh air for newer players who don't want to feel like they're far beyond the curve and who can be learning the game at the same time as everybody else. So yeah, I mean, like there's quite a lot of potential for that. But yeah, again, I'd rather not predict big esports thing, even though like this is something that like the owner of this game, Ablight, really strongly believes in. Well, I say why not, but like let's let's give it time,
Yeah. So I mean, with that, those were kind of most of my questions. I really appreciate you joining me. Is there anything you'd like to say in closing?
Yeah, that like actually Ablight is looking for funding, and it's kind of the same thing that like happened with Sanctuary Shattered Sun, where I reached out for people, just random people who have like let's say 5,000 in disposable income that are like, okay, yeah, I want to be part owner of this project. Well, you can, and that's what my boss is currently looking for, is investors, and not necessarily like VC funds or publishers or stuff like that, but the salt of the earth people that are really invested in gaming. Um, that it doesn't have to be somebody who's incredibly rich. It just has to be a small amounts, and with a sufficient amount of these people, we can fund this game. We can get it going, get the cinematics and the models for this game. It's yeah, it doesn't really require all that much. So yeah, that's my big call to action, is like, reach out to us, reach out to me, I guess, if you want to become an investor. And the other big call to action is wishlist us on Steam. So Ablight is on Steam. It's the first result if you search for Ablight on Steam, or search Ablight Steam on Google. Yeah, wishlist us, because the wish lists will mean everything going forward. And yeah, you can also join our Discord and interact with me there, or interact with any of the other developers. Yeah, it's a great team. So yeah, come join us and come talk to us.
Good deal. And I'll have the various ways to get in touch with Tatsu or Ablight, as well as like wishlist on Steam and everything like that, linked down in the description below. But Tatsu, thank you very much for taking the time on a Saturday
Thank you.
to meet with me and talk about some of the new upcoming RTS games that are rocking the world of real time strategy. And with that, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.